American hero was reduced to a shipping label. The remains of Marine Corporal Jake Reynolds were set to be mailed home, like an Amazon package. But one man said, "Hell no." Mary Reynolds sat on her couch, her hands trembling as she unfolded a letter. Her eyes, red from hours of crying, scanned the words again, as if hoping they'd somehow change. "Due to logistical challenges, your son's remains will be delivered via standard mail." The paper shook in her grip. Her son had given everything for this country, and this was how they sent him home? Not in a flag-draped casket with honor. Not with the dignity he deserved. Just another parcel in the system. Across the country, a single tweet ignited outrage. A military veteran posted a screenshot of the letter with a caption that cut like a knife. "Disgraceful. This Marine should be honored, not shipped like cargo." At Elon Musk, "You see this?" Within hours, the tweet exploded. 200,000 retweets, a flood of furious comments, and one name being tagged again and again: Elon Musk. Somewhere in the sky, Musk sat in his private jet, scrolling through his phone. His expression hardened as he read the tweet. His fingers flew across the screen, firing back two words that sent the internet into a frenzy. Hell no. He lowered his phone, his decision made. "Turn this jet around," he told the pilot, his voice steady and cold. "We're fixing this. Now." The next morning, every major news outlet had picked up the story. But instead of outrage at the system, something strange happened. The narrative was shifting. A polished morning show set gleamed under bright studio lights. Behind the news desk, two anchors, Ryan Calloway and Jennifer Reeves, sat with carefully rehearsed expressions of concern. They weren't here to expose the failure of the system. They were here to reframe the story. In today's top headlines, Ryan began, folding his hands neatly on the desk. Tech billionaire Elon Musk has inserted himself into yet another controversy, this time over the military's standard protocol for transporting remains. Jennifer nodded, setting up the real angle they wanted to push. Some experts are calling his response reckless and uninformed, arguing that these procedures are in place for a reason. A large screen behind them lit up with the headline, "Elon Musk versus the military, grandstanding or genuine concern." The message was clear. This wasn't about a fallen Marine anymore. It was about Musk. The cameras cut to their guest for the segment, Colonel David Lasker, a Pentagon spokesperson. The moment his face appeared on screen, the trap was set. "Colonel," Jennifer started, tilting her head with faux sincerity, "Elon Musk seems to believe he knows better than the United States military. How do you respond to that?" Lasker smirked. He was ready. "With all due respect to Mr. Musk, national defense isn't a PR stunt. These protocols exist because we operate on a scale he can't possibly understand." Ryan jumped in, voice smooth but firm. "So you're saying Musk's intervention could actually disrupt proper procedure?" "It's not just possible, it's irresponsible," Lasker replied, shaking his head. "We don't let billionaires dictate military operations just because they don't like the optics." The segment was unfolding exactly as planned. Instead of holding the system accountable, the focus had been flipped. Now, Musk was the problem. The military was just following procedure. The anchors exchanged knowing glances, sensing the shift in the public discourse. Then came the cherry on top. "Colonel," Jennifer continued, "a source has told us that Musk's interference may have actually delayed the process, making it harder for the family to receive their son's remains. Can you confirm?" Lasker's hesitation was barely noticeable, but just enough to sell the lie. "I can't confirm specifics, but any disruption to protocol carries risks." The damage was done. The soundbite would be everywhere. The camera cut back to Ryan, who turned to face the audience. A tragic situation, made worse by reckless interference. Coming up, should billionaires stay in their lane? We'll hear from experts after the break. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, a producer grinned. The headlines were already being prepped. Elon Musk made it worse. They had set the stage. Now, all they had to do was let the outrage machine do its job. The studio lights blazed bright, illuminating the sleek news desk where five panelists sat, ready to feast. Across from them, Elon Musk leaned back in his chair, expression unreadable. The air crackled with manufactured tension, the kind producers prayed for, ratings gold. At the center of it all was Jonathan Pierce, the show's host, a seasoned media shark with a velvet voice and a knife behind every smile. He adjusted his tie, turning to the camera. Tonight, we discuss the controversy surrounding billionaire Elon Musk's reckless intervention in military affairs. Did he help, or did he make things worse? A giant screen behind them flashed the headline: Elon Musk, hero or chaos agent? The audience murmured, some supportive, most skeptical. The setup had worked. Pierce turned to Musk. Elon, let's cut through the noise. A mother lost her son, a tragedy we all sympathize with. But the military has standard procedures for a reason. Do you believe you know better than the Pentagon? Musk's fingers tapped the table once. He glanced at Pierce, then the other panelists, each one ready to jump in at the first sign of hesitation. I believe Corporal Reynolds deserved to be brought home with dignity, not stuffed into a cardboard box. Gasps from the audience. A woman on the panel, Dr. Evelyn Carter, a political analyst, scoffed. Oh, come on. You're simplifying a complex system to play the hero. A system that mails fallen soldiers like lost luggage. Musk shot back, eyes locked on hers. Pierce smirked, ready to strike. Hold on, let's be factual. The remains were to be transported in accordance with military logistics, the same way countless other brave soldiers have been returned home. You're suggesting the entire system is broken. Musk leaned forward. If the system allows this to happen, then yes, it is broken. Shuffling in the audience. Someone coughed. Others whispered. The temperature in the room shifted, but the panel wasn't going to let it happen. A third panelist, Mark Whitmore, an ex-State Department official, let out a dry laugh. You're a billionaire, Elon. You don't do logistics. You don't do national security. You build rockets and cars. This is out of your depth. Pierce grinned, cutting Musk off before he could reply. And let's not forget, according to our sources, your interference actually delayed the transfer of Corporal Reynolds' remains. His mother had to wait longer because of you. A loud murmur swept through the crowd. The panelists exchanged quick glances. There it was. The turning point they needed. Musk's jaw tensed. That's a lie. Pierce tilted his head, faux innocence dripping from his tone. Is it? Because Pentagon officials say otherwise. Unnamed officials. Musk corrected. Anonymous sources. That's journalism code for "we made it up." Scattered laughs from the audience. But Pierce didn't miss a beat. So you're saying multiple military officials are lying, and you, the billionaire with no military experience, know better? Whitmore chuckled. Classic Musk. He thinks rules don't apply to him. Dr. Carter sighed. Exactly. This is what we see time and time again. Rich men inserting themselves into situations they don't understand because they think money equals expertise. The audience chuckled. A few claps. The momentum was shifting against Musk, exactly as planned. Pierce turned back to Musk, his voice smooth. I think what people really want to know is, why this soldier? Why this situation? Is it because it went viral? Because it made for a good Twitter moment? The words landed like a slap. Musk's fingers stopped tapping. His eyes, calculating and cold, locked onto Pierce's. You want the real reason, he said. Pierce leaned in slightly, the predator sensing his moment. Please, enlighten us. Musk let the silence stretch, making them wait. Then, his voice came, steady and controlled. Because if it were your son, you'd be furious too. The audience hushed. No one had expected that. Musk turned to face the camera directly. If it was your brother, your best friend, someone you loved, and the government's best idea was to slap a shipping label on their casket and send them through FedEx. A flicker of discomfort crossed Pierce's face, but he recovered fast. That's emotional manipulation, not policy. Musk ignored him, still addressing the audience. But because it's not your family, you're comfortable with standard procedures. Because it's just another name on a list. Another package in transit. The audience